Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Elimination Chamber 2020 preview and predictions. We have got 7 matches lined up for this show. Really, it's a surprisingly stacked show given that no women's and no world championships are being defended at all on this show. It's literally just the tag titles, the mid-card titles, and then a few other non-title singles matches. So very interesting kind of structure for this card. It's weird that they're making Elimination Chamber, like they're going out of their way to be like, listen guys, Elimination Chamber is a B-level pay-per-view, but we're going to still make it look really, really good, and we're going to put on one hell of a show regardless. I'm excited about this show despite the lack of big-time titles on the line. It makes the mid-card and tag titles feel that much more important. John, I'm curious if you feel similarly.
Oh, brother, I actually love this card structure. I'm hyped for it. I really have to commend this card for being as solid and as desirable as it is. Like, I'm hyped for this, despite having no world titles on the line. And even the chamber matches are unique because, as you noted, like, you know, tag titles are getting featured in the chamber. And the only other chamber match is, like, a number 1 contenders match for the women. So, singles division for men don't even get a chamber match this year. That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for sure. That being said, though, we also do have 3 matches with no stakes, no stipulations that are just kind of interesting singles matches. So I think we should talk about those first. Then I believe I have in our order that we're going to be talking about the tag title, the Raw tag title match. Then we'll be talking about the 2 mid-card titles. Then the SmackDown Chamber match, the SmackDown Chamber tag team match. And then the Raw Women's Title number 1 contendership chamber match will be our main event. Does that work for you?
That works for me, man. Let's go through it.
All right, let's get to our first match. And, you know, I'm very invested in this match, but it does feel, and actually I said 3, there are only 2 non-title matches with no stips or no stakes. But the first match that I wanted to talk about is interesting, and I don't want to talk about it first because first implies least interesting, but that just shows you how stacked this show is. Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. I think if any of the matches that have already been announced are going to be relegated to a pre-show, this is one of the 2 most likely ones, but man, I have loved this story, and I'm so glad that we're getting this match finally on Elimination Chamber on the card.
Honestly, I want to be careful with my words here. I prefer this story to the Otis, Mandy, Ziggler thing because, like, with Otis, Mandy, and Ziggler, I feel like that's being driven solely by Otis and just how likable he is. Yeah. But with this, like, I love Bryan. I think Gulak is very underrated by the company and maybe even by fans to a degree because I've always said the company affects your perception of a performer. Yeah. And I like him. And I just love the story that, like, one wrestler is so technically astute and so technically knowledgeable that he could pick out the flaws in the game of another wrestler. I'm just going to, like, trim through the fat here, dude. I'm going to tell you straight away, I think Gulak should win this match, and I do think he's going to win this match. Bryan is one of the most selfless performers of his generation, and I would even say he's the most selfless performer of all time. And he's put over guys before. Like, he even put over Rowan when they did that whole thing. And I get it. You know, he's Rowan. He's big and intimidating. I think that this story is going to be, you know, you want something done right. You have to do it yourself. So I see the flaws in Daniel Bryan's game. Therefore, I can beat Daniel Bryan. And I honestly hope we get more than 1 match out of this. And the best way to do that is to give Gulak the win here. So I'm going with Gulak to get the win. And I really hope that happens.
Yep. I absolutely agree with you. Before we move on, I do want to just kind of do some shout outs in chat. It's good to see a bunch of people here. I see Sleeping Angels. I see Abel. I see Alex Foster. I see Craig Skiff. I see Chiefin. I see Noob & Co. I saw Javaris. I saw Justin Martinez. I hope I'm not missing anyone. I think I actually named everybody that I've seen say something in chat so far, but John and I are both going with Drew Gulak to actually pick up a win over Daniel Bryan, which makes it that much more interesting if they go for it. And again, I'm very interested to see where the storyline goes from there, assuming we're correct about that prediction. So, really digging some of the stuff that they're doing, really on both shows. I can't even just say on SmackDown anymore, because they're doing some really interesting shit on both shows now. Props to the writing teams on both Raw and SmackDown over the course of the last month or two. I just want to kind of, give props when they're due. Next match, though, also very interesting, and from Raw, Aleister Black versus AJ Styles. Styles handing Black his first loss since coming to the main roster after Black had to run the OC gauntlet.
Yeah, and it's important to note, Ashton, I just want to clarify for our viewers, this match is no disqualification happening at Chamber.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna add that to the description then. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Honestly, Ashton, given the context of everything we're dealing with, I mean, maybe it's part bias because I love Aleister and stuff, but there's always going to be a part of me that doesn't like that Aleister lost the way they did, but I do understand it. I'm not like angry about it. I mean, they had him go through a gauntlet. AJ was able to pick the scraps, and obviously, like, even a 20% Aleister Black, as amazing as he is, a fresh AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers in the world, I can understand it. I'll be the first one to say, though, I fully expect Aleister to get his win back here.
Dude, I think he's going to win because I think Undertaker's going to show up and either, beat up Gallows and Anderson, which is less likely, or just distract AJ, which is more likely.
Yeah, I completely agree because I think the club will run in, but I think Undertaker, like you said, will be the equalizer, and then we're going straight to Mania. Honestly,
dude, imagine that fuck AJ Styles versus Undertaker one-on-one. Give me this handicap match. Aleister Black teaming up with The Undertaker at WrestleMania to take on all three members of the club. Please do this.
Yeah, because it protects Undertaker and it keeps him, looking good. Honestly, I get how good AJ Styles is. Kurt Angle, one of my favorite quotes about AJ, said that, AJ's the easiest person to work with because he does everything. But they shouldn't, how can I put this? AJ Styles to me is one of the best performers in the world, but that doesn't give you the right to use him as a crutch for your past the prime performers, at all. Yeah. I do not want Undertaker one-on-one in any context because I don't want Undertaker exposed. I think it's risky to expose the Undertaker like that. You want him to go out in a good way. And honestly, if I'm just being truthful, and I know this is kind of the commentaries where we let it all air out, I'm a bit disappointed that they're even still using him because he gave the Broken Skull interview completely out of character, and it was always my understanding he would do that when he was totally done. And now he's already reverting back, into character. And, I get it's a good payday and everything, but, I mean, Jesus Christ. It goes back to my qualms of, when are we going to get, maybe even not another Undertaker. We don't need another Undertaker. I would like the first ever Aleister Black. And the first ever Fiend and stuff like that. And I just want to keep that going. Do I think it'd be a great... You're not
saying you want somebody to be an exact copy of The Undertaker. You just are saying you want somebody to kind of fill the hole, the spot left by Undertaker finally being gone and being able to kind of fulfill sort of the same role within the company that Taker filled.
Exactly. And I honestly feel like, now I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I feel like younger John with a YouTube channel would have, but... it could potentially be the start of a new streak with Aleister. I would love that, he's got the finisher for it in the Black Mass. Yeah. And he already showed, when he's beat up, he beat Rowan in a rematch when he was beat up, but he couldn't run so it shows his toughness. And maybe, at WrestleMania, he's really feeling himself, and that could be the new thing. Because I think he has all the ingredients to reasonably have a new streak that you could, again, reasonably believe would be sustained for a period of time. So do I think it'd be a good rub for Aleister? Yeah, absolutely. I do think it could be. And I would love, because I'll say this right now, I would love to see him in the world title picture either this summer or this fall. I think if he's not in that picture, you're making a mistake. So all of this being said, I do think he's going to get his win back over AJ. And what I like about this, though, Ashton, and I will say, because, I'll be the first one to, go for the jugular in WWE's booking. It protects AJ if we're right on the Undertaker interference, and it does save room for a rubber match that you can promote big on a Big Four pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. AJ's beating Aleister, controversial means. Aleister's beating AJ, controversial means. SummerSlam. And you know what? You could even make it a number one contenders match for the WWE Championship. And then you have Aleister win, and that's how you get your contender. Because I'm assuming... we'll see if I change my mind when we do WrestleMania preview and predictions, but I'm assuming Drew would be the champion. But even if he is, I'd be down for a face versus face match when you've got personalities like those two are. And especially if it's Brock, I would love it with how Brock sells a Claymore. Can you imagine how he would sell Black Mask? I don't think Brock gets enough credit for his selling. He would sell that Black Mask like
Brock
fucking
is
death.
The thing is, like, I'm kind of on the John Cena train as far as the sort of opinion of Brock Lesnar. He is genuinely one of the best performers ever. The problem is that he just doesn't wrestle enough. Like, someone's an effective heel when one of the biggest reasons we hate them is because we don't get them enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So really, I guess what I'm trying to say, and I'm not being too economical and I apologize, but what I'm trying to say more succinctly is I think there's a lot of mileage here. And I think there's a lot of money here in these two working together in the future. And if you know how to up the ante, you could make the rubber match kind of revolve around the world title. And that gets you excited about a new contender because, again, obviously AJ's already been world champion. So I would want Aleister to get that rub. And you could really make him that main event star this year, I feel like. So, yeah, I think for all that to begin, Aleister needs to win here. So 100% in the corner of Aleister Black.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to kind of highlight what Alex Foster said earlier in chat because it's got me hoping that something could happen along these lines. How interesting would it be if Taker distracted AJ Styles and then Black hit a Black Mass on Taker to set up a triple threat?
Oh, see, and again, like, because I like that. I like any matchup that reduces Undertaker's in-ring time.
Yeah.
Because you could easily do a spot where, like,
and
Black
at the same time, any match that gives Aleister Black the Undertaker rub.
Yes, exactly. Those two ingredients, you've got me sold on an Undertaker match at Mania because you could even have a spot, and I'm not saying Undertaker should take this bump. I'm being purely hypothetical to drive the argument. Where, say, AJ and Aleister do like a double suplex through an announce table to the Undertaker.
Yep.
Well, at his age, it's going to take him out for like 15 minutes. And then you could just have,
it's going to take him out for as long as it typically takes for him to make his entrance and make his...
Exactly. And then you pretty much have an AJ Aleister singles match at Mania. And then because they love pandering to like the legends and stuff, I mean, while I would love Aleister to win, I would expect Taker to go over, but by pinning AJ.
Yeah.
And then again, you dovetail that AJ and Aleister resume their business because I honestly feel like this is a feud that does have mileage, and I'm very and here's the thing too, I'm tentative about that because WWE's tendency, which I don't know if they've even grown out of it. I think I've just been so numb to like the cycle of wrestling, I haven't even really noticed. But when they feel like they've got a feud, it's gonna be a good 5 pay-per-views before your guy gets his number called. So yeah. I just hope that Aleister wins this.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've finished talking about our non-stip, non-stakes matches, so let's get into our first championship match discussion. That is the Raw Tag Team titles, the Street Profits, the current champions, defending against Rollins and Murphy. I gotta be honest with you, man. I think that the Street Profits are just gonna retain here, and that's just gonna be it. I really do, because the Viking Raiders are gonna be there to cancel out AOP, and to me, that's all you really need to ensure that Rollins and Murphy aren't like a sure thing to win.
Right. I honestly think Kevin Owens is gonna screw with them again because I think the big matchup here is Seth versus KO at Mania because they still haven't had their one-on-one match. I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just been tag team warfare, which again.
Well, and that's the weird thing that they're kind of booking here, and it came through on Raw. Again, Viking Raiders canceled out AOP, but then Kevin Owens showed up, and suddenly the heels are at a numbers disadvantage because it's 5-on-4, and I think that could rear its head here on this show as well. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, dude. I gotta give WWE credit, man. I really love the restraint that they're showing because in most other occasions you'd find the tag matches repetitive, but I actually like the stories they've been telling in the tag matches, like KO's partners being taken out and stuff like that, interference, like stuff like that. They found ways to keep it fresh, and you keep the one-on-one match for Mania, your biggest show. Again, I know people are probably more used to me dogging on WWE in this, but this is a really well put together card. And this is a really intelligent matchup, I think, because it's a great rub for the Profits, and it's going to make Kevin Owens look great if we're right and he interferes. And dude, I've been saying over and over, I fucking love Kevin Owens right now. I love the babyface fire he's got. I would genuinely be hyped about him and Seth again because they haven't feuded since their Universal title feud, but Kevin is the babyface this time. Yeah. So, like, I'm really excited about that match. And Seth's got a whole new vibe going on. Yeah, they're doing really well, dude.
Yeah. And we both agree, Street Profits to retain. So we are 100% agreement so far. We both agree that Bryan will put over Gulak like the fucking wrestling god that he is. Styles is going to take the L to Aleister Black to kind of give Aleister Black some of his momentum back. And the Street Profits are going to retain the Raw Tag titles. Let's get into our next pair. These matches kind of go together of championship matches, the mid-card title matches, starting with Raw. Andrade. Excuse me.
Yes.
Finally defending the U.S. title against Humberto Carrillo again. First time in over a month because of Andrade's suspension.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for this, man. How do you feel about this? I want you to kind of talk first about this because I've kind of
thought I went first for the last match.
Did you? Did you? Okay, so let's look at this.
That's why I said what it was and then stood back and waited.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys have great matches. You know, like, what else is there to say? Like, their chemistry is great. I thought their Royal Rumble pre-show match was actually one of the best matches on that show. Remember when I said that?
Oh, yeah, dude. I remember you being very praiseworthy of that match.
I feel like their Raw match was great. But I feel like pay-per-view, you always got to kick it up a notch. I think the challenge for these guys, and I'm not saying it's a challenge they can't meet. On the contrary, I think they're still going to blow our minds. What different thing, what different element are you going to bring into this match?
What are you going to do that you haven't done before?
I'm going to be bold, actually. And by the way, can I just say as a quick sidebar, if our predictions actually do come true and we're right about this, so far, the trajectory it's on, this could be the best pay-per-view of 2020 so far for WWE. Because if they make all the moves we're thinking they're going to make, I'm really vibing with that. And continuing in that trajectory, I'm actually a bit torn on this one because I know Paul didn't strip Andrade of the title on the spot because he likes Andrade as champion. So to me, it wouldn't make any sense if he lost the title here. And plus, with Mania around the corner, I feel like the babyface moment at Mania is to do the title change then. Yep. So I'm going to say Andrade retains, but I'm wondering again if they're going to do it in a way where Andrade caught Humberto. You know how they do those pin exchanges and he just happened to get the right one?
I actually do have a more specific prediction than this. I think Humberto is going to win via disqualification. I think Angel Garza gets it.
Okay.
Garza or Zelina or both.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, actually.
That's how you keep this going still. Like, you get the amazing, 10, 12-minute exchange that Andrade and Humberto are capable of having. Then you have, Humberto look like he's about to win, and then either Zelina or Garza attack Humberto while the match is still happening right in front of the ref, and that's it. It's the match. Humberto wins, but he doesn't win the title, and we can keep this train going. And maybe it even does break down. Maybe, Humberto is the victim of a double team. Maybe Garza and Andrade double team and beat him down. And then Ray comes out for the save, and we get the continuation. We're building to a 4-way match, brother. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking good. Dude, there's so, again, because I know we've been done at times they're too negative and stuff on the product, but I'm really loving a lot of what Raw's doing. I think I probably have nitpicks on both shows, and really I could say SmackDown too, because I did have personal stuff to take care of, and it kind of sucks because I feel like the second hour was good, but SmackDown even seemed to have a good energy about it. To the point where I'm almost not angry that part-timers are world champions because I'm hoping a changing of the guard is going to happen for both titles at Mania. But again, we'll get more into those nooks and crannies for Mania preview and predictions. But the undercard on both shows really seems to be popping right now, and focusing on Raw because this is a Raw matchup.
Dude, it helps that this show is focused so much on the undercard,
Yeah, dude, yes. The Hispanic representation with all of this, this is the best scene for that market that we've ever had, I feel like. Because we've talked about for years who's going to be the next great Hispanic star. Because Ray was holding down the fort for years. Then Alberto was the next great experiment with mixed results.
But don't forget Sin Cara. Sin Cara was supposed to be that dude, and then he just couldn't stop botching.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a really nice pocket right now with these fucking guys because Andrade's got the look, and I do believe when his English gets better, he'll be able to talk because we even said on NXT, he has great body language. He knows, he knows how to work a ring and everything, and stuff like that. Humberto, I think, is very young, but I think he's got incredible upside. He's insane in the ring. Talking's a bit of an issue, but I'm kind of hoping he would grow into that, or he would just be the kind of performer where he gets over because of what he does in the ring. Angel Garza, to be perfectly honest, Angel Garza might be the best of the bunch because his English is very like fluent. Like I can understand him very easily. He's good looking as hell. I'm confident enough in my heterosexuality to admit it. That man is a fucking snack. Okay. And like he can go in the ring.
And don't even get us started on that booty.
And Ray, I mean, despite Ray having only one wellness violation, which I guess he didn't have another one, either that or they're holding off because I thought I heard rumors he violated it again. But yeah, like
I mean, dude, it's entirely possible that he did, and they're holding off until after Mania when he's able to put over someone else to actually, activate the suspension.
You know what, though? With Ray, I can almost look past it because I feel like he's been so, like, humble in interviews and, like, really caring about the next generation. Like, I feel like when he talks about preserving the next generation of, like, Latino wrestlers and, like, Lucha Libre, like, he fucking means it. And you could see with, like, the work that he's doing. So I'll almost look the other way because I feel like he's a solid legend that does business. But yeah, it's good shit right now, man. It's really good shit. And I'm actually going to co-sign completely on your prediction. Humberto wins via disqualification because that's how I think you keep the story going.
Exactly. And it's funny, too, that we're talking about, these four amazing Hispanic talents. We're talking about Ray, who's been around forever and speaks perfectly fluent English. Garza is kind of the next closest, but he's also the smallest of the group, obviously next to Ray. He's a little bit bigger than Ray. Andrade, English is getting there. He still has a little ways to go, but he's getting much better at it. And he's the biggest of the... Well, no, he's not. Humberto. It's funny. There's like an inverse relationship between English ability and size between these four guys. The smaller they get, the better their English get, because Humberto is the biggest one, and he's got the worst English of the group by far.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Oh, man. But you know what, though? The reason that I'm kind of building all this up is because there's a guy that breaks all these trends. There's a guy who's bigger than Humberto and speaks better English than Ray.
And?
Jorge Bali.
Oh, my fucking God, yes. Oh, my God. That dude's going to set the world on fire the moment they give him the chance.
Yeah, dude. He's straight up, when you hear him talk, like, if you didn't see his face, if you didn't know that it was him talking and you would hear him talk, you'd be like, well, shit. And this guy, he was born and raised in like Texas or something. Like there's no accent at all. He has a Southern American accent, not a Mexican, not a Hispanic, not a Spanish, not a Puerto Rican accent whatsoever.
Dude, I'm gonna say this. I love Lucha Underground to death, and you know that. We stan Lucha Underground in this fucking household. I do kind of hold a grudge, though, that Jake Strong was Lucha Underground champion before King Cuerno. Oh. Like, I think, and I hate to do that to you into the chat, but facts are facts. I think one thing I know, bud, I know it hurts. It hurts me too. One thing I hate about the show getting cut so short was I really would like to believe that had it had greater longevity, that motherfucker would have gotten a run because, and I'll be honest, I was a late signer on King Cuerno. Like Ashton got on the train before I did. But the important thing is that you just get on the train, period. And I will tell you, when I really started to look at him differently, you want to talk about technical wrestling and people that make things look good. That dude is like, and I say this like in the best ways because I feel like he's got more personality than this guy, but they say like Randy Orton's kind of like a Bret Hart type. I feel like he executes things so fucking smoothly, does Cuerno, or now Bali now to switch to his NXT name, and he does things so well. I think he's a very polished in-ring worker, and I feel like, depending on, he's cut as fuck. Again, another handsome. All these fucking Hispanic talents are like, so you were calling out our mass tradition. Say something now. And then I'm just like crying in the corner because I'm so inadequate. So yeah, he's got everything, man. He checks every box. I'm very ecstatic about his future.
And you know what, dude? I just, because we're already talking about the new wave of Hispanic stars, let's talk about another one that goes underappreciated, that has had a hand in making us love Humberto, and will hopefully have a hand in making the general audience love Bali. Raul Mendoza.
Yeah. Raul is definitely very interesting because dude, the only exposure I've
he's only 28.
Oh wow, that young, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, because like my only exposure to Raul, as I've told you, when I was on a ZSJ binge, him and Raul actually faced each other in some Mexican promotion, and I'm sorry, I just got to remind everybody. The way the referee, at least in this promotion, counted just bugged the fucking shit out of me. But that was my only gripe with the match. Stuff looked good. I don't know what WWE season role. Maybe he'll just be a reliable tag team hand, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'd like to see tag team wrestling have a renaissance. God, dude, I would kill for another DIY versus Revival series fucking somewhere in WWE. But yeah,
I do want to just also add in ages. Angel Garza's 27. Andrade is 30, and Humberto's 24.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we've got this amazing young crop. And Bali, I will say, Bali's 35, but he's a fucking main eventer. Like, they could literally give him the Alberto Del Rio push, and he would be so much better with that push than Del Rio ever was.
Bro, again, because you know how I am on this podcast. I fucking turn up, and I already mentioned I'm fucking comfortable in my masculinity. They give him the Alberto push. I am all about that.
That's like not even fair. That's like spoiling us.
I am sucking the fucking dick of that content all the fucking way. Okay? I am here for it. We are not a family show, people. I am just being honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, they put the WWE title on him because here's the thing. Again, we're really going to get into it at WrestleMania Preview Predictions, but I do think right now Drew is going to win the title. But who did he put over in NXT when he was NXT champion? Andrade. Dude, and here's the thing. I could buy Andrade beating Drew. I'm not saying I couldn't, but I could sure as hell buy Jorge Bali beating Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you wanted to be different, because I'm sure everybody's already assuming, like, oh, Brock would get it back, or Seth would win it, or whatever. If you wanted to be different, give it to that motherfucker and, like...
Or dude, I have a personal prediction that The Fiend gets drafted back over to Raw, and he would potentially be the one to beat for it.
And that's cool. That's cool. You know, if you want to, like, you know, go with a good thing, and it is a good thing and a sure thing. But, like, my Chubb fam, like, if you just go all the way on Jorge Bali, I'd be like, okay, and just like the octaves that my voice would fucking go. Muy caliente. Like, dude, I would. Yes, I would do things. Probably with this microphone, we'd get canceled. Just, like, give that fucking snack all the goddamn things, and nobody's even going to tell me I'm wrong. That's the thing. I'm sounding like a crazy person right now, but still,
dude, I love Javaris in chat. Jorge is attractive, but he's no Dr. Wagner Jr.
I mean, that is a silver fucking fox that can get it.
They're so different, though. Like, Jorge Bali is literally Hispanic Roman Reigns. And then Dr. Wagner Jr. is fucking fucking Dos Equis guy, like most interesting man in the world, but in Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man. Well, all right. I really This discussion's got me really excited, but at the end of the day, we should probably try and keep on track as much as we can. We agree now that Humberto's going to win by DQ. Most likely because of Angel Garza, but also possibly because of Zelina Vega. We'll see. So let's move on to the other mid-card title match. 3-on-1 handicap match. Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited about this match because Sammy's in the ring, even if it's for like a very limited period, which is why they're like doing the handicap match, because like most of the work will probably be Shinsuke and Cesaro. Look, This is the first downer matchup, not because I think Braun should lose. Like, I'm all for Braun retaining. I think he's worked his ass off for this. I like Braun a lot. What I don't like is I'm really worried that they're going to do Strowman Fury 2 at Mania. I hope they don't, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we get a straight-up Intercontinental title match. But it's my worry right now.
Fury's got to train for his third fight with Deontay Wilder in, like, July.
So you don't think it'll happen?
Oh, I don't fucking know. I hope. I'm trying to convince myself at this point.
Oh, okay, because then they're going to be like, John, here's why I understand your concerns, but they're wrong. And instead what we get is, here is why you could be wrong, but I'm still really scared, and I hope it doesn't happen either.
That's exactly the sentiment, yes.
But yeah, no, like, God, honestly, I mean, dude, truthfully, I would even prefer before Strowman Fury 2, I would just prefer another Strowman Big Show match for the Intercontinental title, because at least you got two giants in there. It looks like an attraction, and I've actually enjoyed their matches together. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I don't know how people felt about Strowman and Big Show's matches, but I would take another one of those before I take Strowman
Give me
Fury 2.
Strowman Mark Henry, god damn it.
Dude, fuck yeah. Fucking Mark Henry coming out. He's putting over these big guys, Keith Lee and Dijakovic, and he's like, but I haven't forgot about you, Strowman. You're great. Maybe suckers him in, not as emotionally as with the false retirement speech, because that was God tier. But then it's like, I don't know. You think you run this? I run this. Like, just some angry Mark Henry shit. Like, kill him. I don't give a shit.
You thought you were done with me? I still got some left in the tank.
He's so angry and so dominant. I mean, let's be honest, people. If you were getting wrecked by Mark Henry, and yes, this is the first non-sexual comment I've had in like 5 minutes. You'd probably wait. What was your idea?
Continue. I have an idea, but continue, and I'll say mine out.
But no, I was gonna say we'd all be honored to be inducted in the Hall of Pain, and I'm sure Strowman would be too. But no, I want you, because the idea's fresh. Go. What's your idea?
If they don't win and don't get screwed out of the chamber, Big E versus Strowman.
See, I like that. I want more New Day guys. Well, I'd say New Day guys, but Woods is unfortunately still injured.
Right.
But I'd love for Big E to get a little bit of that push.
Right.
I don't know why now. You did the thing with Kofi. You even did the thing where that they were champions at the same time, because Woods and E were tag
champs. Yep. That
Kofi
lasted all of like 2 months, maybe 1 month.
Yeah, but you did it. It looked cool. Give Big E a fucking look. I know he loves his boys, but I don't know. I would like to think if I was a wrestler, I'd have friends too, but I would want to spread my fucking wings, and I would want to see what I can do.
Dude,
give him the ball.
And the only reason that I even bring it up is because Big E had me dying tonight on his fucking backstage interview with Kayla Braxton, with him and Kofi getting interviewed by Kayla. Oh my God, he had me dying, because just even just towards the end when they were doing their the hip grinding thing, like, come on Kayla, do it with us, Kayla. It was just, I love Big E. He's been showing more personality lately, and it hasn't gone unnoticed by me, by my face. And I just want, and I feel it, man. I feel like the New Day are going to coalesce behind making Big E sooner than later. And I'm just waiting for that trigger to get pulled.
And here's the thing, dude. The crazy thing about WWE, and, I've been feeling really positive, so I don't mean this as a slight. It's either the trigger never gets pulled, or you just have to wait a real fucking long time to hear the bang. And I'd like to believe with Big E, it's more the latter right now, that the trigger is going to be pulled. It's just taking way longer than we thought. But then again, dude, it wouldn't have been too long ago that I would have told you the exact same thing about Drew, and he's finally facing Brock at Mania. So
you know what though, dude? After the little the rub that Heavy Machinery got tonight, with Otis being kind of hung up with this whole Dolph Mandy thing, I wouldn't mind Tucker going after the Intercontinental title either, because he showed me some stuff tonight. Like, he can fucking move.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing. It can never hurt to be experimental, especially with your undercard. I understand.
Maybe we just get a multi-man Intercontinental title match. We could do Strowman, Cesaro, Nakamura, Big E, Tucker, and then maybe 1 to 3 other guys. And it doesn't. Elias and Corbin could both be in it, since it seems like they're setting up a program now. And then maybe just add in one guy. Maybe let's just say, name somebody. Maybe even an older guy, somebody that you're not expecting. Just name someone that can still go. I don't know. Fuck it. Let's just say
maybe I know Joe.
Well, no, Roode would actually work, because Ziggler is caught up with the whole Mandy Otis thing. So make it fucking Bobby Roode. Who cares?
Okay. Yeah.
That's 8 dudes. It doesn't even have to be a ladder match, but you put 8 dudes in the ring. They could even do a battle royal. They could do a gauntlet. They could do, there are so many different interesting things that they could do. And especially because I do think that we're going to get just a straight up 4-way match for the U.S. title with the 4 Hispanic guys, Andrade, Angel, Humberto, and Rey. I think that's just going to be a 4-way. Sheamus is another possibility. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Maybe we get a big multi-man Intercontinental title match. It's just going to be 4 guys for the U.S. title, most likely.
Yeah, I'd be for that. I mean, look,
But I also do want to kind of re-emphasize and restate, since I've been talking about it for a while now, I do agree with you. Strowman is going to retain here.
Yeah, do we think there's any chance that like there's going to be discord on the other team and maybe Sami would steal a win? Because Sami being in here is interesting to me.
Dude, I think Sami Zayn might be my second favorite performer on SmackDown behind Daniel Bryan.
Dude, I don't blame you.
He's so fucking good. Tonight, him talking to the NWO, just talking shit, and then like when they're up and they're ready, and I love too when he was like, "Oh, and Sean Waltman, you know how much the Intercontinental Championship weighs because you carried these guys' bags so much." I was dying, and then they run away, and then Strowman shows up, and he gets in the ring, and the way that he just flopped when he turned around and saw the NWO, he's such a good physical actor. I love him.
Dude, he just gets the fucking business, man. Like, there's a reason why, and I say it every time we talk about Sami Zayn. When he had his heel run before he got injured, I desperately wanted him as WWE champion because everything he was doing, I'm like, I want this guy to run the fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, I want this guy. And I'm telling you, if things were different, I would still want him to run the fucking show because
I'm going to just tell you right now, if his momentum doesn't completely die between now and Mania, he's making my WWE Fave 5 come our next Fave 5 video.
As he absolutely should. Because this is a guy that, again, like you said, he's such a good actor. Like, he can be very animated, great body language, knows how to work an arena, knows how to work a fucking stick. I mean, hell.
And how ironic is it, too, if we literally just rewind like 4 years, everyone was like, oh, everyone in NXT has a gimmick except for Sami Zayn, whose gimmick is literally just he's a nice guy, and that works for him. Like, he was so good as a babyface that he didn't even need a character beyond just really nice guy, and it worked, and now we're here, and he's a douchebag, and I love him for it.
Yeah, Sami Zayn epitomizes when I say I fucking love douchebags. Yeah. Absolutely. Because, dude, I'll be honest, the only other result I would accept in an ideal world, because here's my thing. If you really wanted to do Strowman Fury, and I say this about every big money match that WWE likes to do, you don't need a title for it. The only other result I would be like fucking hyped for, Sami Zayn steals the title out of the back door because, the three guys, because they never really.
Oh, and then that leads to a four-way there too.
Or it leads to a four-way. Or again, if you wanted to pair off Fury with Strowman, and you wanted to just decide a contender between Cesaro and Shinsuke, you have Shinsuke beat Cesaro. You get Shinsuke and Sami at Mania, call back to their NXT matchup at TakeOver.
That's like some pie in the sky, too good to be true level shit.
I know, man. I feel like it's too good to be true that he's even like gonna like wrestle more actively like beyond this, which is why I said I think I even prefaced it by saying like my most ideal scenario because I know it's not gonna happen. But
I feel like Sami Zayn as a heel is everything that was great about Vince McMahon as a heel, except for the gigantic muscles. Yes. Like his over-the-top enthusiasm, his over-the-top reactions and selling, his complete and total willingness to make a goddamn fool of himself. I fucking love this man. Yeah, for sure. There's so much upside to him. Mm-hmm. And like, again, that's why like the health issues bother the shit out of me. And the only good thing, because not only do we stand Sami Zayn in this household as a performer, but as a fucking human being, man, has he made his injury time fucking work for him? He's like, well, I'm off. I could go stir crazy, or, I could just build fucking hospitals. And like, this dude is something else. And honestly, if he was healthy enough to get back on a semi-active schedule, just give him one mid-card title run at least. The idea that this dude has never won a title on the main roster is an insult. I get that belts are props and a man makes the title, but see, that brings me to that point though. How can you look at how this guy works on a mic and works a crowd and not think he couldn't make a championship? Because I guarantee you he'd make me care about the WWE Championship more than Brock has the last few years, beyond just getting it off of him so that we could have a full-time champion. Right.
Just really that classical, like, beat this heel's ass, not because, like, he's never here, but because he's here too much and he annoys the fuck out of me. Like, he's too good, dude. He's too good. But Strowman for the win. Next matchup.
Next match is, let me actually check the order that we have this in. Make sure that I get this right. It's the tag team chamber match for SmackDown. We've got the Dirt Sheet, Miz and Morrison defending the SmackDown tag titles against the New Day, the Usos, Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, and Rudolph, who we now know will be entering last in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, the old fucks, or the old-ish fucks, I guess. That's pretty accurate.
No, you were right the first time. They're old.
Okay.
I mean, isn't Bobby Roode like 43 years old?
Yeah, go home, Robert.
42. He's going to be 43 in like 2 months. Close enough.
Yeah, nobody likes
like
you, Robert.
38.
Yeah.
39.
Yeah.
Ziggler's 39. Ziggler's going to be 40 this year, bro. They're fucking old.
Yeah, that just... Yeah.
It's not even just Ziggler's face anymore. It's just a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm just really hyped that I get Jomo in a chamber match.
Yes.
Dude,
I was so happy for you when they were getting announced.
Yeah, oh, dude. Because he's... But see, here's what interests me. This will be his third one ever.
But
oddly enough, his first as a heel. So we may not even get the highlight reel, or we may, because he still likes doing the parkour shit as a heel, which, I mean, it's debatable whether that's good or not. But, you know, like, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I wanted to see him in a chamber. So I personally think that they're going to retain. John's finally going to win a chamber match, which is going to make me fucking giddy as shit. And I think the big matchup is them versus Usos in just a standard tag match at Mania. Because I understand.
Really think it's just going to be a standard tag match? You don't think it's going to be like a ladder match?
It's probably going to be a ladder match, and that's fine. I would like, though, a more personal just tag match at a Mania just one time. Because we're already going to have other smages with, like, the mid-card titles.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind whether I think that they're going to keep the titles and just drop them to the Usos at Mania, or if we're going to play some hot potato, and they're going to, like, drop the titles to the Usos in the chamber, then win the titles back from the Usos on SmackDown in the next few weeks, and that sets up the ladder match on Mania. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I see that happening for sure.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, especially, again, given that Mania is like the one show where they want to get everybody on the card because of the WrestleMania payday. That makes total sense. I
think Lucha House Party stands no chance. I think Heavy Machinery and Rudolph kind of cancel each other out. New Day's kind of a wild card, though. Dude, imagine that fucking triple ladder match. The New Day, the Usos, and the Dirt Sheet triple ladder match. Are you kidding me?
Oh, well, my pants shrunk. Yeah, that sounds fucking amazing. That sounds absolutely fucking amazing.
That's why, like, I've seen, I think it was Ace the Skylord earlier on, actually, which, welcome, Ace. We're glad you're here. I think he mentioned earlier that he thought that the 4-way U.S. title match would maybe be turned into a ladder match. I would rather see the ladder match go to something like this. A triple threat tag team championship ladder match between the Usos, New Day, and Dirt Sheet. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude, totally. Because I'm definitely thinking the Usos are going to be in the tag title picture just in general, whether it's a one-on-one match or not at Mania. I personally think they're going to be the last team eliminated by Miz and Morrison to retain the titles because of, 2 weeks ago, like we had the SmackDown tonight, but the SmackDown before that, the Usos beat Miz and Morrison one-on-one. So I feel like Miz and Morrison are going to get the win back there, and then you get the Mania matchup.
You know what, dude? I'm going to be straight up with you. I think that if this match comes down to the Usos versus Miz and Morrison, the Usos are winning, and then they'll drop the titles back to Miz and Morrison on TV between now and Mania to set up their third big-time rubber match at Mania.
Yeah, okay.
That's my official prediction. Yeah. That's if it's a conditional if. If the Usos and Morrison and Miz are the last two teams remaining in this match, I predict the Usos win the titles, drop them back to Miz and Morrison on TV, and then we get our third, the big rubber match at Mania. That's my official prediction.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good, man.
I will say, though, God, Miz and Morrison got eliminated kind of early tonight. You know what? That's my if. But if that doesn't happen, if that conditional isn't met, I am actually going to pick the New Day to win this.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, New Day is always like a bet that you shouldn't overlook them at all. So I'm not saying I'm overlooking them necessarily, especially because I feel like in all their tag title reigns, there's had to have at least been one where we felt like it came out of nowhere. So it's totally possible. I just personally don't see it right now. Because the only other team I would pick if Miz and Morrison didn't win would be a title change with the Usos. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I am just going with
it's crazy. I'm convinced that Miz and Morrison are dropping the titles on this match. It's just a matter of whether it is directly to the Usos so that they can just get that straight up, tag team feud going into Mania, or if the New Day are going to get roped into this by winning the titles and getting involved in this feud. I really think that that's a strong possibility.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see what happens. I think we only have one more matchup, and that's the Women's Chamber, right?
It is. Yep. The Women's Raw Chamber, the number one contendership on the line. First question I want to ask, do we think Asuka gets back in time to be in this chamber? And if not, will she be replaced by Kairi?
Don't do that to me because I love Asuka, but Kairi. And I love Asuka too. That'd be the only time I'd feel bad about it.
Or even better, Asuka's able to make it back in time, and Kairi and Asuka double team assault Natalya with Kairi replacing her.
I've wanted that so bad, dude.
Dude, that would make this chamber so fucking good. And honestly, I'm hesitating to say perfect because I'm sure that there are other talents that I would rather have be in the match than like Sarah Logan at least, if not Liv, and maybe even Shayna. But this match would be so ridiculously stacked if Kairi replaced Natalya. That's like a new best performer in the match replacing who I believe to be arguably the worst performer in the match.
Right, dude. And no offense to Edge, but Kairi can emote. She would be like the modern, I'm telling you, steal that pod, make those faces. What, me? I didn't do anything wrong. Kairi, because you're a treasure. Yes, and definitely laugh about it. Man.
And I would love it even more too if Asuka, Asuka and Kairi, they come out together. They always come out together. And maybe they come out 5th, and then Natalya comes out 6th, and they don't fully have Asuka in the pod yet, and she comes out and attacks Natalya from behind. They beat her down, they throw her out of the chamber, and then Kairi gets into a chamber near where Natalya is on the outside of the ring, and she just points and laughs at her.
Yeah, dude, laughing at Natalya is a forever mood. So that absolutely, I honestly could be the greatest elimination chamber of all time if Natalya gets assaulted, gets her pod stolen, and all the baby faces and heels unite just to laugh at her that she got her dreams robbed. Yes, do it. Do it, Kairi. Rob Natalya. Because here's the serious thing. I actually think on a certain level that could happen. And I have 2 reasons why. One, Kabuki Warriors stick together, and they always try and help each other win. And lately, it's really been about Kairi helping Asuka win. How do you help Asuka win this match? By watching her back in the match. How do you do that? Taking somebody's pod. Who do we have the most beef with? Natalya. So,
and you know what, dude? I feel like Natalya is completely out of place in this, whereas over the course of the last couple of weeks, we've seen Shayna interacting with the Kabuki Warriors a lot. So I could, and God, the way that they're booking Shayna, it's no wonder she's not getting reactions because they're putting her in situations where the odds are against her, against heels, and expecting people to boo her. It makes no sense whatsoever. I hate the way that they're booking Shayna on the main roster, and her reactions or lack thereof is evidence that they're doing it poorly. But I really do think that Kairi and Natalya could end up the final 3, if that does happen, could end up being Kairi, Asuka, and Shayna, with Kairi and Asuka kind of double teaming Shayna, and Shayna finding a way to overcome those odds, because they've been booking Shayna weird in a way that almost makes her kind of come off as this badass babyface type character. But if they really wanted to kind of continue that trend of her beating up, again, these girls that are supposed to be heels that it seems like they might be kind of relying on getting face reactions for whatever reason, I could see Shayna beating both of them on her way to winning this chamber, with the 3 Riot Squad girls kind of, negating each other, kind of canceling each other out.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
I really, you know what? I said it almost as a troll at first, but the more I think about it, the more I think it really genuinely does make sense for Kairi and Asuka to beat down Natalya and have Kairi replace Natalya, because, the first night when the women in the chamber were announced, Kairi and Asuka, didn't we get, was it Kairi, or it was one of them against Natalya, right?
Yeah.
And just this past week, we were supposed to get Asuka versus Shayna, ended up being Kairi versus Shayna. So, I don't know, man. It feels like Natalya, it just has no place in this chamber. Kairi has been involved in this storyline. I don't know. Like I said, at first I said it almost as like a troll, but I'm starting to really buy into it and think that it's going to fucking happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm going to take Foster's note. Oh, we got a $2 super chat from Kirby Freeman. Thank you, Kirby. Warriors versus Boston Hug at WrestleMania. Calling it? No way. No way. Dude, at best, yeah.
Did you watch Moment of Bliss tonight?
I did, and I did hear them call out Kabuki Warriors. So
Dude,
we're either gonna
I don't know if you saw what I said in the Discord. I feel like that was Bliss going into business for herself. Like,
I did see that.
That was Bliss being like, Vince, I used to be your favorite little plaything. Why are you neglecting me now?
Yeah, because I feel like the story is Kabuki Warriors versus Divas of Doom.
Yeah, that's what. Well, and if they attack Natalya and screw her out of the chamber, that makes a billion times more sense. Then it's happening. I'm calling it. It's happening. Shayna's gonna win, last eliminating Kairi and Asuka. She's gonna take them on both at the same time. She's still gonna find a way to win. Maybe Natalya might manage to distract one or both of them long enough to allow it to be easier for Shayna to do. But that is my official prediction because that sets up Kabuki Warriors versus Beth and Natalya perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that. Again, I'm gonna take Foster's heat. I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much, especially as a Kairi fan. I should always prepare for disappointment. But I wouldn't even care about her winning the chamber because I know the story isn't about her. I would just love to see her in the match. Like, dude, an insane elbow off a pod. Like, fucking give it to me. So I want it. I want it really bad, but I'm shockingly, and Foster even said Ashton's kind of pulling a John like right now, like getting really worked up and like buying in. I'm going to be the more restrained one. I don't think Kairi will get in, unfortunately. I do think Natalya, though, will be eliminated very early. Maybe even because, now I will say this, Foster. And this is
I love Abel in chat. I feel like Abel has almost taken the spot of Dominic Adams in this chat right now because he's being a total sadist. Watch Natalya eliminate Asuka, and it's Shayna and Natalya as the final two. God damn it.
Abel, the only reason I'm letting you get away with this is because you're so devastatingly handsome, but don't push your luck. You're on thin ice. But what I will push back on a bit, Foster, because I have seen this, granted, that was like 2009, so I know precedent and so far back, but I could see Kairi like being on the outside of the chamber at one point, maybe even running out and like slipping a weapon or something to Asuka or providing a distraction. But I don't think she's gonna like physically be in the match as much as I would love that.
Oh my
I mean, God, that would be my pop of the night. That might even be a bigger pop than just.
I mean, hell, dude, they wouldn't even have to attack Natalya during our entrance. We've seen examples where somebody gets assaulted backstage and can't compete and gets replaced. Like that shit happens.
It does. And I'm not taking that off the table. I'm just not buying in to kind of protect myself and not get too wound up. But
yeah, dude, I'm glad that you're protecting your emotional well-being because you need it with Kairi. I totally get that. I'm just going all in because fuck it.
I mean, and it makes and dude, here's the thing. For titles that really don't mean a lot, perceptually speaking, this would be such a great way to make your women's tag title matchup.
Yep.
Like, because it's nuanced. It actually, I mean, granted, I love seeing Natalya get bullied, so Kairi and Asuka are forever the baby faces here. And, Beth, I mean, you got RKO'd, so, maybe you should have stayed home. But, they're the baby faces to me here.
I mean, she only got RKO'd, right? Like, we've seen... She literally cracked her dome, her skull open at the Royal Rumble, and she fought through it. I'm pretty sure she can show up the following week after taking an RKO.
I mean, Beth, nobody likes a tryhard. But I do feel like, I mean, I originally was gonna say, and I am glad we got the discussion out of this because here's the thing, dude. I feel like the real story of this match, because can we just both agree? I mean, I know you already said it, so I know we both agree, but just to establish for what I'm about to say, we just both agree that Shayna's winning this and she's facing Becky,
God,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I wanted to just reestablish that for the simple fact that the real story here is the undercard threads that are going to be developed or furthered, because
I am really, really hoping, even if it's on the pre-show, which, a little disappointing, but I'm hoping it's the main card. I really want a Riot Squad triple threat at Mania.
And dude, I think we're going to get one. And I only say that too because of how Sarah Logan acted, like taking out both of them. It just shows like nobody has any allegiances. Yeah. Like, yeah. Abel, she got hit by a man, Ashton. Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure men hit less hard than ring posts.
God God, I'm sorry. I need just a second to gather myself. I didn't expect it because I don't know why. I expect Abel like doing the finger snap and the bobblehead. Like she got hit by a man, Ashton. Fuck, I took myself out. Fuck. Everybody simmer down, mainly me. Okay, so we know that like nobody has any allegiances to anybody. Like, I don't like that Ruby lost her first match back, but the way she lost it, like, again, I understand it and I can look past it. I love that they're doing this. Like, I love that this isn't just like a schmuck. Like, these three have history. And, you know, we keep hearing the rumors, Ashton, you and I, about like a really loaded women's side of the Mania card, which honestly, I'm going to be the one to say it. I feel like that's even bolder than just having 3 women main event your Mania. Like, if you give a lot of women like Mania time, even if it is on the pre-show, that to me is
I think Meltzer
shit.
even said something along the lines of we might get, I think, like 6 women's matches at Mania. Which, I mean, if you count it, okay, so we've got the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. Got the Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's, NXT Women's, and Women's Tag Team titles. So that's 5. There's room for one more there. There's room for one more. Riot Squad Triple Threat, please.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the way they've built Liv up, hell, even Sarah already with like jobbing out to Charlotte Flair.
I know, dude. It's so interesting that like I just love some of the seeds that they've been planting because they made Sarah Logan relevant by having her brush shoulders with Charlotte Flair, and now it's proven that like she's not on that level, but she's kind of coming back down to earth, and now she's going to be fighting with Ruby and Liv, and I just love that they had her shoot for the stars and land on the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I feel like you protect your acts because, you know, obviously losing doesn't make you look good, but I think as long as you keep them visible and you keep them in the public eye, so to speak, like, you know, you can always do something with them. And long term, I do feel like the booking was smart because nobody realistically, because again, you are what you're booked. Nobody would realistically believe Sarah Logan beating Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I even feel like they made the right call having Rhea Ripley beat Sarah Logan because I feel like the way Rhea Ripley's been booked relative to how Sarah Logan's been booked, nobody would have believed that either. Yeah. So I do think those are the right calls. Could I believe Sarah Logan winning a triple threat with her Riot Squad sisters? Yeah, I could. I could on it if they wanted to do that. I very honestly could believe her winning that, but just keeping it to the chamber. I do hope we get those moments where like the 3 of them stare each other down and then a brawl erupts and then, you know, maybe one of them doesn't even eliminate the other. Maybe Shayna takes out Ruby or something. You know, something like that. I don't know how they're going to play it all out.
Speaking of Shayna and Ruby, I'm starting to feel like because of the lack of reception that Shayna's getting on the main roster, I'm starting to feel like they might have Becky retain, and that would get me all kinds of excited for potential Ruby versus Becky feud going forward after WrestleMania.
Brother, I'm gonna since you initiated this, I am just gonna since you broached the subject, I am gonna be that guy right now, and I am gonna take the ball, and I am going to say, please, for the love of motherfucking God. She is healthy now. Yeah. Both shoulders healed. I will make. Look, you guys can all hold me to account for this because you know I'm on that crazy shit tonight. I had fucking drenched waffles in syrup and shit. I probably have never had that much sugar before and hopefully never will again.
So many carbs.
And so good. No regrets at all. But I will make a fucking prayer circle out of like fucking goat's blood. And I will make a fucking sacrifice to get that woman a women's championship this year. Oh. I'm serious. I'm like, dude, and keep in mind, I'm saying this while Kairi exists because honestly, the best thing for Kairi soon would be to feud with Asuka, which I think is more important than the championship for her right now. So that frees the championship up, right? So I'm saying this knowing that Kairi exists. Give this fucking woman who had better matches with 2 damaged shoulders than most people did fucking fully healthy. So yeah, I said it. Give her that motherfucking briefcase this year.
Dude, I'm glad you said it. Dude, I'm so glad because Chris Venegas is in chat, just making me want to kill myself. Talking about Becky versus Nia, which is probably going to happen, assuming Shayna doesn't beat Becky at Mania, which is getting closer and closer to being realistic at this point. But if they really do Becky versus Nia post Mania, give Ruby Riott the women's Money in the Bank. Pull
Dude.
that trigger, please.
Dude, because of her character and just how she conducts herself and everything, she would be fucking perfect for that briefcase.
And
she'd be perfect for it.
Especially if she wins the Riot Squad triple threat because Sarah helps her and Sarah becomes like a bodyguard figure for her.
Yes. Oh, dude. Like, this is... Look, Ronda, I feel like, is gone. I'm hoping she doesn't come back. I'm hoping she got that mother bug. Go and raise your fucking demon spawn, okay? We ain't fucking missing you. We out here. We're enjoying fucking people earning their spot. She's healthy. Ronda's no longer around, and Shayna's not getting reactions. And with how... I want to think of a good term, but with how wishy-washy, I wish I could think of a better term than that, but with how non-committal, fickle, non-committal, Vince seems to be, like, dude, when I tell you, and I know I've committed a lot of hyperbole over the years, and I will shamelessly do it again, but I feel like realistically, the table is set for Ruby to have a title reign, dude. It really is, because Shayna right now is getting a reception, but one crowd, one night. Next week, it could be different, you know? And I feel like the neck-biting segment was still really well done. So I don't know. But if she tanks, I'm rooting for fucking Riot. Like, I'm rooting for her to be that next heel champ. Because imagine, dude.
Ruby for MITB.
Dude, imagine.
I need a shirt.
Yeah, imagine. Becky, she beat Ronda, you know, controversially, because she's like, oh, my shoulder's up. She's beaten Charlotte so many times, I'm amazed she even remembers her own name. Fucking, you know, so Becky's beaten the really legit people. She beat Sasha on her comeback. Can you imagine, even if it was via cash-in, which is just great for fucking heat, how amazing it would look for Ruby if she was like, I was the one that ended Becky's title reign. The title reign that main evented WrestleMania. The title reign that I think broke records. We'd have to look. But I think she is the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion right now, right?
Yep.
And yeah, like, just imagine Ruby being able to say that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm telling you.
But regardless, we should, because we're both picking Shayna to win on Sunday and then face Becky at Mania. What we're really talking about now is everything after Mania, assuming Becky gets through Shayna, which Becky could just lose to Shayna, and we get sort of a mini Shayna reign of terror on the main roster on Raw.
I mean, brother, look.
Although, actually, dude, I was even thinking about this. I wonder if they would swap women's champions in the draft. Like, send Shayna to SmackDown, send whoever walks out of WrestleMania as the SmackDown Women's Champion over to Raw, which, I mean, at that point, it would almost have to be Sasha, but we'll see.
Right. I mean, look, did we take a nice scenic detour? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Would I sacrifice a goat in the middle of an Olive Garden to make this happen? Absolutely. You know,
because when you're here,
hey, go to your room after this. Stay. But when we go off there, go to your fucking room. Yeah. Fuck. Now the laughter's coming. Shit, I held it together just to tell you to go to your room. Fuck. Okay. Note to self: re-straighten priorities. But beyond that, look, I know we let it get away from us. But I really like that we had that conversation because, dude, here's the thing. Like, I really do commend Raw for making the Raw Women's Championship feel important because Becky has had such a run that I do legitimately believe her losing it, even if it would be to Shayna at Mania, would be a big deal. But if it doesn't work, man, you always got to think about the next thing. And I just feel like everything is coming up Riot right now. I really do. I'll be heartbroken if she doesn't win the title this year because before I can now forgive all the other times I was disappointed because she was injured. Like I get that now.
Dude, I'm so glad that we watched that little mini doc of her on the WWE PC channel. Like, oh my God. The sympathy was already there. We already adored her and now it's just a million times over. She's amazing.
She is, dude. She deserves a run.
Like if she was that fucking good with two immobile shoulders, I can't even imagine her ceiling at this point.
Dude, that's
how
what
old
I'm
is she?
Saying, man.
She's not even 30 yet. She's only 29.
You're fucking kidding me. God damn it, man. Everything's coming up right. Dude, if this does not happen this year, I will fucking fight somebody.
She is younger than Ember Moon, dude. She's younger than Ember Moon. She's younger than Asuka. She's younger than Kyrie. She's younger than Becky. She's younger than Charlotte. She's younger than Bayley. She might even be younger than Sasha. I'm not sure about that one, though.
I think Sasha should still be younger, right?
Sasha's 28, yeah.
Yeah, I figured. But
Still,
even then, dude, it's not by much. It's not by much. And, like, I'm telling you, like,
I think
I'm
the
serious.
3 Riot Squad girls are actually all under 30, because I want to say Sarah's surprisingly young, too. Let me just check real quick, and then Liv is, I think, like 26. She's really young. Sarah's 26, Liv is 25.
And, bro, I'll tell you, like, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Money in the Bank is in May this year. So, like, it's going to be off the heels of Mania. I think it's even in early May, actually. Yeah, it's going to be off the heels of Mania. So which tells me if it's going to start being in early May consistently, Money in the Bank is kind of the reset pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just
dude, I don't see anything scheduled between Mania and Money in the Bank, which tells me Money in the Bank is probably going to be the first Sunday in May.
All right. Yeah, that if that all works out, man, dude. They got something here. They really got something here. I'm telling you, because I want Kairi to feud with Asuka if she's even going to still be with the company.
Craig is already saying it's May 10th, so it's actually the second Sunday in May. But still, though, they're probably doing that because they need a little bit of time to reshake the roster, because they're obviously going to have a draft after Mania. But yeah, dude, oh man, this is the most excited I feel like I've been about WWE as a whole in what might be years at this point, honestly.
Yeah, dude, totally. I think, dude, that undercard, and even focusing on the women, and we've always said about the women, they've got a talented women's roster too. Mm-hmm. It's just, who are your priorities? What pieces are you moving, and how are you doing it?
Yeah, that's always been the problem, man. The problem with WWE hasn't been lack of talent; it's been pushing the wrong talents.
Dude, I'm telling you, when CM Punk was still with the company, like, he would talk about, oh, this year was my year, or this year would be Bryan's year, this year would be Cesaro's year. I feel like this year, when it comes to the women, ultimately is Ruby Riot's year, if they play their cards right. If they play their cards right.
Yeah.
Because, and that's a big ask. Yeah. But, man, dude, she's got it fucking all. And you know what? I ain't apologize for this, DJ. I've been wanting to talk about Ruby Riot like this because I missed the fuck out of her when she was gone. Yeah. Now that she's back, take over this fucking shit. Fuck Shayna Baszler. Fuck Becky. And I don't even mean it in a derogatory way. But we know how good Ruby Riot is. She has to have the mentality, fuck everybody, I'm taking my spot.
Yes.
Hell, Becky says that's what she wants all the time. So give Becky what she wants. Tell her, fuck you, this is my spot now. I'm taking it. I think she'd be an amazing heel champion. So Shayna's going to win the battle. But I really hope Ruby wins the war. Yeah. I really fucking do. So Shayna to win, and you and I are very excited about the future of the women's division, but we'll just have to see where it goes, hombre. So
yeah, because like even with this match, if it is what it says it is, if we don't get Kairi, if that's just it, it's the 6 women that are in it, or the 6 women that are in it. I'm still stoked as hell about 5 of the 6 women in this match. Like, I'm still loving the Riot Squad 3-way tension. I'm loving, obviously, I'm a big fan of Shayna Baszler, even if she isn't getting much of a reaction. Seeing her interact with everyone in this match should be interesting. And honestly, I hope that she almost singles out Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan right now is the only actual good babyface outside of Becky Lynch on the entire Raw women's roster, which is really sad to me. That is, to me, that's a true fact. Like, Natalya sucks, and they're trying to pass her off as a babyface, but nobody's really buying it. Asuka and Kairi are both supposed to be heels, and they've been facing Shayna in recent weeks, which makes no sense because it's heel versus heel, and it's no wonder you're not getting a reaction out of Shayna when she's a heel bullying heels. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I feel so bad for the girls that have been miserable towards all the good girls that I like over the last few months. Sarah Logan is kind of tweener, but she leans more towards the heel side. Again, she was kind of picking fights with Charlotte, doing disrespectful shit with her robe and all that stuff. Ruby Riott, obviously a heel. Like, name a babyface on the Raw women's division and not named Lynch or Liv Morgan. There aren't any. And the ones that there are, like, specific, I already mentioned Natalya, fucking suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Raw. And then thing is, Raw, I don't think feels like they need a lot of baby faces because they have the face of the company.
Right. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like, why do you need 4 baby faces when you have the man?
Exactly.
But this is why right here, because how do you build up a heel challenger for the man without baby faces for her to crush?
Exactly. exactly.
Charlotte isn't a babyface, Chiefin. Charlotte is not a babyface. She's the heel very clearly in this feud with Rhea Ripley, and she's made that clear with her disrespect to Bianca and her, talking shit to everybody, including, I think, at some point in the last few weeks, she's taken shots at the fans. Like, Charlotte is clearly a heel to me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's just, I just feel like Raw's women's division is short on believable baby faces. And again, you might think that's not a big deal because you have Becky Lynch and she's the champion and you just want to kind of surround her with heel challengers. But how do you build up those heel challengers in a way that gets them heat without sacrificial lamb baby faces for them to beat,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a conundrum. I'm telling you, man.
They almost need to call up Casey Catanzaro to get into a mini feud with Shayna on the way to Mania or something.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's another thing, too. Like you pointing out NXT, they've got talent they can farm there. It's such a promising division, dude. They just have to believe in the promise. That's what it is. They have to believe in the promise that division has. Because even people like Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, I feel like they're very similar to Ruby in the sense to me that I feel like if you really got behind them, they'd be amazing champions.
Yeah.
I would even say Chelsea more than Deonna personally, but I think Deonna too could be like maybe even a more entertaining kind of version of Shayna, just this very technically adept, like bully type heel. Dude, it would
be really interesting if Kabuki Warriors had like a really good, honest, competitive match with the Divas of Doom at Mania, and we got like a show of respect from all four of them afterwards, and it's kind of like the sign that like Kabuki Warriors are face again, and then on the literal next show, Chelsea and Deonna attack them and go after their tag titles. That would be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sweet. Yeah.
And hell, you could even have Robert Stone come to Raw with them as a manager for the two of them.
Yeah, I love everything you're laying down right now, dude. I think the division, again, like what we're talking about is promise. And I just hope a lot of that promise gets actualized. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So we all agree about Shayna. I think we've actually covered everything that we've wanted to cover on here. I can't think of any other talking points that we may have missed. And obviously, I'm not going to until after we're finished here. But I think we're pretty much ready to be done here. What about you?
I feel great. I never gave a hype level like before we got into it, but I would honestly say like I was at it. What was that?
I said 8 for me.
I was going to say the same, but I think this conversation and just the possibility that could come out, because Mania does seem pretty set, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just feel like a lot's got me excited about the next few months, because, summer is usually my favorite time, although the last few years it's kind of killed that for me. This could be a comeback, and it all starts with a show like this, so I'm going to give it an 8.5 hype level. Not quite at a 9, but it's fucking high. Yeah. It's fucking high.
And the craziest thing about that is no world titles on the line, no women's championships on the line. It is literally an undercard show, and we're this excited about it. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really hope for a great show. I think it's going to be awesome, and we'll see what happens. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. You're amazing. Leave a like yet if you haven't, and I'm going to hand it over to Ashton to take us home.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. I actually did manage to put a new schedule up just earlier tonight, so make sure to go on over to my Twitter. I'm actually going to make sure that I pin that. I actually forgot to pin it earlier, but I'm going to pin that now on my Twitter. So make sure to go check that out. If you're curious and you don't want to go over to Twitter, I can just fill you in. Tomorrow night at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be live reacting to Stardom's No People Gate live reaction show there. That's going to be a very interesting show. It's a very small card with no fans in the arena due to coronavirus, but I'm very curious to see what kind of atmosphere, what kind of vibe that show has. And we're still going to get our usual great Stardom work rate. I'm hoping we get some storyline progression with some stuff. It's going to be very interesting. And then Sunday is Elimination Chamber. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next week, obviously next Wednesday, we will also be live reacting to NXT. That's currently the only plans for the entirety of the next 7 days. So we hope that you're looking forward to those 3 commentaries. And if you are, again, make sure to show up. If you enjoyed this commentary, if you enjoyed this preview predictions, You can also like this video and share and subscribe and click the bell icon, and then hop on over to our Twitch. Follow us there, click that bell icon. And if you would like to support TwitWow, you have so many options. You can subscribe over on Twitch. You can buy our merch on Teespring, which I really think I want to put up some kind of Ruby Riot for Money in the Bank 2020 shirt, because that's a campaign that I think everyone's going to be able to get behind. You can donate to our Patreon. Craig Skiff is our newest donor. He's going to be in the Discord as soon as we can get him in there. I did send him an invite link on the actual Patreon website, but that's probably expired by now. But Craig, we're going to do what we can to get you in on the Discord. Try and DM me on Twitter, and I'll send you an invite link, brother. And you can also share this channel and this video with all of your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. And that's right, we are TwitWow, and we are the workhorses of both the Y and T WCs. We hope that you're all able to join us for No People Gate tomorrow night, for Elimination Chamber Sunday night, and then for NXT on Wednesday. But in order for that to happen, of course, we always say this, and I'll always say it forever and ever, a million years, remember to stay tuned.